Okay, hopefully my audio is working this time. Hello, my sweeties. Wow, that was a mess up. I started this video and I forgot to turn my audio back on, so whoops. Anyway, hello, my sweeties. It's time for Monthly Positives, and the day I am recording this, the 27th, it is officially my 29th birthday. Which I know it sounds weird that I am actually kind of excited the fact that I am turning 29, especially when I turned 25. I felt really old and depressed, and here I am at 29. But, you know, a lot has happened these last few years, and it's, changed my perspective. When I was 25, I had made a life plan, like, back in high school, that by the time I was 25, I would have published my first book and finished school and maybe been married with kids and, that whole charade of things. And although, I am still in the process of, accomplishing those goals, I finally graduated this year with my degree in creative writing, which was super exciting. I do miss school though, and I've been honestly really missing my talks with my advisor, and I've actually been thinking about contacting him. I do have his email, but I've actually been thinking about calling him because I've been missing talking to him. And I did finally get my first book finished, and I'm in the process of getting it published. And, I'm also in the process of getting my own business going in a way. So it's crazy. I don't know. I don't know if it's just having really started reconnecting to my culture again, if it's just the things that have happened the last few years have really just changed my just perspective on life since I was 25. I don't know. I'm 29 and I'm feeling young. I feel like I have time to still accomplish the things I want to accomplish. I do already have my 2 sons, my awesome, beautiful sons. Though I don't have a partner, I do have an awesome, supportive circle around me. And then, of course, I've been working on a project these last several months. And even though the research into it has been a struggle, whether it's making me having to relive not only my own trauma I've gone through in life, but also the stories that have been passed down to through my family, and realizing how much information and details my family left out, and then getting to read it and knowing oh my goodness, not just this actually happened, but more just I can't imagine that my relatives went through something like that and survived. And, it's crazy, realizing where I come from. And then these last few weeks, I've been making connections and, reaching out to the community and having people coming back and going, yes, here's some information on this, or, here's, some things you can use in the search engine to maybe find more information. Or I have had some people that have, reached out and actually been wanting to be interviewed, or, helping me gain contact with other members in the community. And it's been awesome. And it also reinforces, this is what I want to do with my life. And even though right now I'm not making money from it, I'm just getting started. And, still figuring out that whole aspect of things, I'm in a place where it's I am starting to get into what I want to do, what I've always wanted to do. The reason I, back in 2015, decided to go back to school and get a degree, and the reason why I ended up going and getting a degree in something I love, which is writing. And it's just been awesome, and it's really just changing my whole perspective on things. And it's crazy how just 4 years can really change your point of view, your perspective, and your lifestyle, and just how you view the world. And so it's kind of crazy. And I don't know, a few months ago I was in a really dark place. I was very depressed, and now I'm jittery. I'm like, I can't wait to get this project going, and I'm hoping to start uploading videos on the project I've been working on at least by New Year's or sometime after New Year's, because I'm just going to give myself time to try to get as many information and resources and contacts as I can before I start uploading. But it's I just I'm it's just so many emotions. And it's been awesome. So anyway, enough about me. Let's get started on our monthly positives. I have a few things. I figured we can do a react to some comedy stuff. Because laughter is good, it's healing, and also some positive stories I came across this month. And I hope, this just helps you guys just, get through any difficult time you are currently dealing with. I know laughter is always really helpful when you're in a dark place, and also with all the craziness that's going on in the world, hearing just some positive stories, even if they're a little bit older, does, help give you hope for the future. So I'm hoping I can do that for you guys. And let's get started.
When your kids bring their city friends from college home for the weekend.
Okay, so this first one is a little old. It was posted back in September of 2015, but it's also been recently updated in September of 2021. It was written by Mary Sue. I came across it on Facebook, and it is titled Her Husband Left Her When She Had 6 Kids to Care For, but She Never Thought This Could Ever Happen. And I will give you guys a heads up, this is going to talk about God and stuff, especially kind of towards the end. I'm probably going to skip like the last paragraph or so of this article, because I'm not really a godly person. I am a spiritual person, and I can respect other people's beliefs and religion and stuff. But as an indigenous mixed person, certain religions have really affected my community, and personally has affected a lot of members within my own family. But I do understand why people turn to religion, and that's fine. It's, I'm reconnecting to my indigenousness, so I can't really get at people who are very religious while I also connect back to my ancestors' beliefs. So I do respect you, but I also just, I don't like being attacked with your religion. No offense. Anyway, to the article. This single mother was just recovering from the fact that the father of her children had just left her. She had nothing to her name and 6 mouths to feed. You'll never guess how things turned around for her. And this story was just so sweet. In September 1960, I woke one morning with 6 hungry babies and just 75 cents in my pocket. Their father was gone. The boys ranged from 3 months to 7 years. Their sister was 2. Their dad had never been much more than a presence they feared. Whenever they heard his tires crunch on the gravel driveway, they would scramble to hide under their beds. He did manage to leave $15 a week to buy groceries. And I apologize if this first half is a little triggering. I know, from my own experience that I know very personally. Now that he had decided to leave, there would be no more beatings, but no food either. If there was a welfare system in effect in southern Indiana at that time, I certainly knew nothing about it. I scrubbed the kids until they looked brand new, and then put on my best homemade dress, loaded them into the rusty old 51 Chevy, and drove off to find a job. Sometimes I love how people describe things. Like, I scrubbed my kids until they looked brand new. They're children. What do you mean? But, just sometimes the way we'll describe things as humans. The seven of us went to every factory, store, and restaurant in our own small town. No luck. The kids stayed cramped into the car and tried to be quiet while I tried to convince whoever would listen that I was willing to learn or do anything. I had to have a job. Still, no luck. The last place we went to, just a few miles out of town, was an old root beer barrel drive-in that had been converted to a truck stop. It was called the Big Wheel. An old lady named Granny owned the place, and she peeked out of the window from time to time at all those kids. She needed someone on the graveyard shift, 11 at night until 7 in the morning. She paid 65 cents an hour, and I could start that night. I raced home and called the teenager down the street that babysat for people. I bargained with her to come and sleep on my sofa for $1 a night. She could arrive with her pajamas on, and the kids would already be asleep. This seemed like a good arrangement to her, so we made a deal. That night, when the little ones and I knelt to say our prayers, we all thanked God for finding Mommy a job, and so I started at the Big Wheel. When I got home in the mornings, I woke the babysitter up and sent her home with $1 of my tip money, fully half of what I averaged every night. As the weeks went by, heating bills added a string to my meager wage. The tires on the old Chevy had the consistency of penny balloons and began to leak. Again, I just love how people describe things. I had to fill them with air on the way to work and again every morning before I could go home. One bleak fall morning, I dragged myself to the car to go home and found 4 tires in the back seat. New tires. There was no note, no nothing, just those beautiful brand new tires. Had angels taken up residence in Indiana? I wondered. I made a deal with the local service station. In exchange for his mounting the new tires, I would clean up his office. I remember it took me a lot longer to scrub his floors than it did for him to do the tires. I was now working 6 nights instead of 5, and it still wasn't enough. Christmas was coming, and I knew there would be no money for toys for the kids. I found a can of red paint and started repairing and painting some old toys. Then I hid them in the basement so there would be something for Santa to deliver on Christmas morning. That, as a single mother, I totally understand how that feels. Even when I was with my ex-husband, there were times like that. But, thrift stores are a thing. I'm not sure about back then, but it's amazing what you can find at a thrift store sometimes. Clothes were a word too. I was sewing patches on top of patches on the boys' pants, and soon they would be too far gone to repair. On Christmas Eve, the usual customers were drinking coffee in the Big Wheel. There were the truckers, Les, Frank, and Jim, and a state trooper named Joe. A few musicians were hanging around after a gig at the Legion and were dropping nickels in the pinball machine. The regulars all just sat around and talked through the wee hours of the morning and then left to get home before the sun came up. When it was time for me to go home at 7 o'clock on Christmas morning, to my amazement, my old battered Chevy was filled full to the top with boxes of all shapes and sizes. I quickly opened the driver's side door, crawled inside, and kneeled in the front facing the back seat. Reaching back, I pulled off the lid of the top box. Inside was whole cases of little blue jeans, sizes 2 to 10. I looked inside another box. It was full of shirts to go with the jeans. Then I peeked inside some of the other boxes. There was candy and nuts and bananas and bags of groceries. There was an enormous ham for baking and canned vegetables and potatoes. There was pudding and jello and cookies and pie filling and flour. There was a whole bag of laundry supplies and cleaning items, and there were 5 toy trucks and one beautiful little doll. As I drove back through empty streets as the sun slowly rose on the most amazing Christmas day of my life, I was sobbing with gratitude, and I will never forget the joy on the faces of my little ones that precious morning. Yes, there were angels in India that long ago December, and they all hung out at the Big Wheel truck stop. And this is the part I'm kind of like, this little section here about the power of prayer. But again, to everyone their own. I cannot, I respect your religion as long as you respect my spirituality. But it still is a beautiful story.
Traveling starman, exotic male dancer, activist, entrepreneur. bitten by a radioactive res dog and bestowed upon him powers given by the creator himself, transforming him into Mr. Indigenous! Faster than a wild Mustang, more powerful than an angry mob of colonizers, able to leap tall antes with a single bound. Watch out, evildoers, there's a new hero in town.
I never planned on having a horse in my house.
Could you imagine going to someone's house and there's just a horse walking in and eating carrots off the counter? Anyway, I love this one comment. That dog is way too big to be an inside pet. Okay, anyway, back to the story.
But now that it's happened, I wouldn't have it any other way. She was just like, well, hello, I can open this door all by myself. Well, hello. We had to get another door handle. She would just let herself in and walk in. Now she speaks on the door and she decides she wants to come in.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
I go through gallons of Windex.
Well, I can imagine.
It's such a weird normal. Here, you can try it. I don't think you're gonna like it. Come on. See, I told you. It's gross for you. She just does her thing. She's just a Marigo. Our quiet times are my favorite times, and those are the times where I just have those intimate moments with her where we can have coffee and bond. She's just this gentle giant who is part of the family. And when she's inside, I just absolutely love it.
This is so cute. Like, when he is sitting there talking about his quiet time, in the morning with his coffee and his horse, it's kind of like me. Like, most of the time I have one or both of my dogs with me, and my kids are coming and going, hi, mommy, good morning, mommy. And then it's so cute. It just kind of reminds me of that.
I found Amerigo in Montana at a rescue. And I just was like, oh my gosh, she's incredible. We just spent a lot of time together. I went on a couple of rides with her. The day of the accident was a normal Sunday. She had been really antsy, so she was just kind of not herself, and she kept telling me that she didn't want to be ridden. I, as a human being, did all of the wrong things. I ended up getting up on her, and she bucked me off, and I ended up on the ground underneath her, and she came down on me with her back hoof and crushed my leg below the knee. I had 6 surgeries, and my amputation surgery was the 7th surgery. During my recovery, she was my support animal. She started putting her head in the window, and she would just hang with me.
One of the things I appreciate with this is he realizes it wasn't the horse's fault, it was his. Like, she told him, no, not today, riding's not a good day today, and he was like, no, I'm going to ride you. So he admits that, it was on his doing, it was his fault. And I appreciate that, because a lot of times people would just blame the animal and go, I'm just going to get rid of this animal because it didn't obey me, right? But animals have feelings, they have souls, they, have emotions. And when something doesn't feel right to them, we need to listen. Like, my mom always told me, be aware of the animals, because I grew up in the country, and I mean like 3 hours out of the closest town, right? And we always had animals and stuff, and we would have, like, we had a mountain lion in the area, we had bear. For a while, one of our neighbors had let loose his wolf hybrids, basically wolf dogs, and, they started terrorizing everything, and it was due to our animals, especially our dogs and cats, that always alerted us to danger, and, when something wasn't right, and my parents would always be more on alert when the animals went on alert, because a lot of times they can sense something that we don't. And one of the awesome things is science is starting to recently find out that animals do know when something's wrong. Like they can sense things like cancer or, I think I came across something that was talking about how they've been using it to find, the virus that's currently going on. And, they always know something is wrong. And just that is amazing. Like they have that sixth sense. And so we always need to respect and appreciate that. And so I really appreciate that he admits that he was like, I was in the wrong, she wasn't. I shouldn't have ridden her that day, And he's not dwelling on the past. He's like, it happened, I made my mistake, I own up to my mistake, and I still love my horse. And that's so cute. I love that he admits that he was wrong in that.
Everybody say good morning to Sis. She was there for me. So she was showing me that I had to forgive myself. I didn't need to forgive her. She didn't need my forgiveness. She needed my love. She's how I lost my leg, but she's also how I learned to live again. Showing us Amerigo her balloon likeliness. The bond between Amerigo and I goes much deeper than any bond I'll ever have with any other little kid.
Not having it.
I love the sassy part of her just as much as the kind, sweet parts where she comes running to me for comfort when it's storming outside, or because of the deer, or even when she wants a little lick in the cup. Amerigo means unconditional love.
Are you watching TV? Are you interested in the baking challenge?
She means compassion and the ability to live life to its fullest. I feel incredibly blessed that she came into my life. I couldn't be a better person without her. Back out. Bye.
See, isn't that such a sweet story?
Surround yourself with people whose eyes light up when they see you coming. 2, slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to be. And 3, the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next, so keep climbing.
Shall we have some laughs? Okay, so this is one of my favorite TikTokers. Yeah, the click. And I've honestly been starting my mornings with him just to start my days having some laughs. So I thought, you know what? Let's have some laughs together.
I am cancer free! How the frick did he change his zodiac sign? I am literally so freaking stupid. My freaking god, never mind, forgive me.
Have you ever had one of those moments where you're like, oh no! I totally missed that context.
Corn maze rules translated for teenagers. Sup?
Okay.
Can you not speed through the maze, bro? Stay within your squad on the path, cause that would be straight fire. TBH, don't throw nada, but for sure not the corn. Don't be a creeper and don't totes scare people. That's whack, dude. Have a valid time. TY.
Question. What teenagers? Because, this is not slang teenagers currently use, is it? It's been that long since I heard a teenager talk. This reminds me of, those older movies, Grease and stuff, and they would talk like that. I hope someone was just picking on this poor guy.
I know you tweeted as a joke, but I also know many cases where women got because of stress men cause. So yeah, I read this as chlamydia. What's the C? Cancer.
So many questions.
And that day, medical science came to a halt. Men! First time posting. Be gentle. How can I flip this image so my son is facing the camera? I've tried using the flip canvas horizontal and also image invert, but nothing seems to work. Please help. How can I flip this picture so he's facing forward?
That's not how cameras work. That is not how cameras work. That is not how cameras work.
Do you know what, lady? I am feeling very generous today, so I am going to fix this.
Okay, here we go. Absolutely
What is
gorgeous.
he gonna do?
So simply, what you do, let me just check here real quick. Do I have any faces in this folder? I have a Markiplier meme. I guess I can use this. That's going to be absolutely gorgeous. All right, so simply what you do to get a three-dimensional pictures is that you take a picture of Markiplier and you simply squeeze that on top of the child, and then you zoom in and adjust it so it's the right proportions, and then we just zoom in and we fix some of the edges on this absolute piece of art. And there you go. That is how you flip your image 360 degrees. Just make sure you have a little picture of Markiplier handy, and there you go. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. I heard this conversation once. Person A, I'll have the chicken. Person B, I thought you said you were vegetarian. Person A, I am. Person B, what do you think a vegetarian is? Person A, someone who doesn't eat animals. But you want the chicken. A chicken is a bird, not an animal.
I once had a roommate that was vegan, but it was more for health issues. And she was fine with I and our other roommate eating meat as long as we cooked it outside the house, which is fine. And the only meat she would eat was fish. And this sounds like a very, very similar conversation we had one time.
Guys show up drunk to bail out underage drunk friend.
This is such drunk logic. He's like, oh no, bro, our friend got caught. Let's go get him out. Oh, we're still drunk? Whoops.
That is so totally drunk logic.
So silly.
Lost hiker ignored phone calls from search team because they didn't recognize number.
I saw that! Oh my god. That was my face when I first read that. I had to read the article because I was like, please tell me this is a joke. No, it's not a joke. And it happened in my area.
What? Fact! If the Earth was 10 feet closer to the sun, we would all burn up. And if it was 10 feet further away, we'd freeze to death. God is amazing. Wow, that's crazy. I know. Amen. To anyone wondering, that's not true. 1. Earth's orbit is elliptical and the distance from the sun varies around 147 million kilometers to 152 million kilometers on any given year. 2. Every star has a habitable zone that is affected by the size of the star and its intensity. The sun's habitable zone is about 0.95 astronomical units to 1.37 astronomical units. And AU is the Earth's average distance from the sun, 93 million miles. So Earth's orbit could decrease by 4,500,000 miles or increase by 34 million miles and still be in the habitable zone. 3. If your claim was true by any moderately sized earthquake could take us out of the habitable zone. Sorry.
Can we have a drum roll, please, for this commenter that took the time to do this?
So you know how ladders help you reach tall places? Yes. Yeah, I can't think of a single other way to use this ladder to get that piece of cloth down. Yeah, just keep trying. You'll get it eventually. Yeah, there you go, there you go. It's important to use tools the appropriate way. Think... It's not even outside the box. I don't even know what this is. Like underneath the box? He's still going. He's still not... This video is like a minute long. He's still going at it.
Is there common sense in the world anymore?
Because I'm afraid the water will go up my vajayjay and drown my baby. I wanted to put a plastic bag between my legs to try to take a bath, but maybe I should just elevate my cork. A cork is, yeah, there you go. I don't know, but I'm afraid little Trevor isn't gonna make it. My husband hasn't touched me in months, question mark.
You know, I feel more for the husband than I do the wife, because the husband's probably sitting there questioning his entire marriage. Going, this is who I married. This is who I'm about to have a baby with.
Y'all, this old lady on Facebook got angry at me, so she threatened to call my job and report my rude behavior to my boss. So she got my information from my page.
Are you still a cashier at the Krusty Krab? I will be contacting your employer and your parents' relatives. She's gonna try to call Mr. Krabs on me, y'all. She's gonna try to contact Bikini Bottom. She's going to call a phone number and ask, is this the Krusty Krab? And the person who answered the phone will have a choice to make.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
I will say it's genius that she put Krusty Krab as her job on her profile page. And I want to be there when that lady calls Krusty Krab.
Do people outside of the US celebrate the American Independence Day, 4th of July? Why or why not?
Why would they?
Do you guys in America celebrate Red October Revolution?
No, what's that? It's not. It's a local. Oh.
That was a mood.
Gay people rely on straight people to produce more gay people.
It actually doesn't work like that. Some of us are born like this. Nobody turned me into a gay person.
That's not the point of the meme.
It is. It's saying that gay people only exist because they were straight and someone turned them gay. It's a plague. But some of us just discovered ourselves.
No, that's not the thing.
So I'm not out there turning straight people into gay because like me, some other are already gay.
I hope you're joking. You are clearly missing the point.
Common sense again? Like, is it a rare species? No. Is common sense a rare species?
Caution, do not swallow. Okay, why did you have to put this up? I want the context, but also don't. Now I'm curious.
Literally, just the last clip you just did shows that common sense. In fact, a good portion of this video shows common sense does not exist. It's a rare breed.
Look at this, it's a little choo-choo.
Oh. I have to watch that one again.
I tried so hard. So we got my first tattoo. Home job.
Why did you get the Star of David tattooed on you? You never strike me as a religious person.
It's a pentagram. Hail Satan.
A penta is 5 points. Yours have 6, which makes it the Star of David.
I'm sorry, what?
On a personal note, I have actually had an argument with someone like this. So, back in high school, we did a project where we basically had our faces masked and stuff so we could make a mask, and it was Heritage Month, so we were supposed to like go into our family trees and then paint the mask with our heritage. And I have German Jewish blood in me, so I had put the Star of David on my mask, right? Along with, eagle feather for my Native American, and I can't remember what I put for my Welsh. I think my Viking, I did like a Viking shield, if I remember correctly. I never took the mask home. In fact, that year I think was the first time I never took any of my art stuff home because of the art teacher. Anyway, my art teacher freaked out because she thought I put a pentagram on my mask. To which I explained to her, no, that is the Star of David. And my mom explained to her it was a Star of David. And she was insistent that it was a pentagram.
I ordered and paid for a dozen Mickey Mouse Rice Krispie treats, and you only sent me 12. My brain is running on power save mode.
How do I...
Question. How many eggs are in a dozen carton of eggs?
This is a micropost. We have difficulties getting you on the Xbox data. Base, we require your email and password to get you back on our database. Learn to spell at school.com. My pass is stupid.
I actually feel for it. Have fun getting hack. I am the smartest heck in the world.
Frickin' racist with his Confederate flag!
Norway! It even says the name of the flag on top of it. How can you get...
Yeah, Norwegians, I'm looking at you, you little sus. My God. Earth half day, half night, as seen from space.
Oh my God, look at that, it's so flat.
I wonder how cool it would be to be someone in the middle of these halves. Whatever in the middle of these halves might not be thinking this is crazy. For someone who lives right in the middle of that line, is it gonna be afternoon forever crazy?
You ever heard of a sunset?
My neighbor.
You're gonna love me today.
I just finished sanding my tires, so my car will ride smoother on the interstate, and honestly, I kind of love this look.
That's a smooth way to see God. You support gay rights? How are you straight? Okay, I support animal rights too. Do I look like a freaking armadillo to you? I wouldn't trust NASA.
And the Earth is flat, right? There are documents from NASA that talk about Earth being a plane.
So you just said you wouldn't trust NASA, but now you're trying to validate your claim by documents from NASA? You didn't think this one through, did you? So wait, we can't trust NASA, and NASA tells us the world is flat, so it's a square. Q. Hey, is this mouse pad Windows 10 compatible? Answer. You know it's a piece of cloth, right?
For the heck of it, since we're talking about mouse pads, look at my cute little one! He's so cute!
40% of American kids think hot dogs and bacons are plants. America, what are you doing? What? Is this real?
So I am going to finish this video on this positive note. As someone who has been in an abusive relationship and just have had absolutely no luck in the dating world to the point I just have given up. This was awesome. This is someone who I'm sure everyone knows. You know, right here, hint, hint. Here you go. But I thought this story was really sweet. She and her husband look so sweet together anyway. And then to have heard this story, it's such a beautiful story. So,
what is something a man did for you that made you realize that you've been accepting way too little from men? Like your standards are possible, and in that moment you clicked that you were never asking for too much. You were just being given too little.
Okay, so I have this weird quirk. Ever since I was a little girl, very little, I would wake up in the middle of the night, like 2 or 3, sometimes 4 in the morning, to go downstairs to the kitchen and get a green apple. And I would eat that apple, half asleep, and then go back to bed. I have been doing this ever since I can remember, like 6 or 7 years old, up until now in my 30s. Anyway.
Just for the fun of it, tell me your weird quirks. Leave them down in the comments. For the heck of it, I'll leave mine too.
When Steven and I, my now husband and I, were first together literally 10 years ago, we were probably on our 4th date, and I had told him about this quirk of mine, and he thought it was funny and cute or whatever. Anyway, he invites me back to his apartment to watch a movie with him, and we still hadn't slept together or anything at the time. And I was like, okay, sure, but don't try anything funny. And he's like, of course not. So we go back and we watch some like European fucking indie film. I can't remember what it was called, but we watched the movie and it's getting late and I'm getting tired and I'm like, I'm really tired. He's like, yeah, you should probably sleep over. And I was like, okay, I will. Remember, it's like the 4th date. And I was like, okay, but don't try anything. Cause I really wanted to take things nice and slow with him. And
see, that's always like my thing too. When I have considered dating is I want to take things slow, and unfortunately, our society, it's like once you hit like it's weird. Like it feels like not only are you going on 1, 2, 3 dates, you're also supposed to have gone to base 1 on the first day, and base 2 on the second date, and base 3 on the third date, which I personally have never liked. And so far, I've only had one person that I have dated that respected my celibacy, Although it didn't work out between us, I did appreciate their respecting, that choice I have made. So that's another one that's always so difficult when it comes to dating, especially with how our society is.
And he was like, of course not. So I go to sleep in his bed and I wake up around like maybe 3 in the morning, and I turn and he's not there. And I thought that was really weird. Like, where is he? And then I go back to sleep, and then I wake up again around like 4, and there's a green apple next to my bedside. And I grabbed it and I eat it, and he's sleeping next to me. And I wake up in the morning and he tells me that he woke up at like 2 or 3 in the morning and he realized that he didn't have any apples. And so he wanted to make sure when I woke up in the middle of the night that I had my apple. And so he went out at like 2 in the morning. He went to the first 7-Eleven and they didn't have any apples. So he had to go to like 2 or 3 different stores to find something that was open that had green apples. And he finally, around the 2nd or 3rd gas station, found an apple and brought it back. And so I would wake up to an apple. And that's 10 years later. We're still together. And I definitely slept with him that morning. That was the first time.
See, this story really just shows how it's the little things that really can do it in. And I thought this story was so sweet. I mean, a lot of people would just be like, it's just an apple. But the fact of how he went to that effort of going to all those different stores just for an apple really just sets it in. Like, it's those little things that really can do it in for some people. Like right here, Laura talks about how this was the moment she knew that he was the one, and they've been together for 10 years, and that is so sweet. All right, my sweeties. So I hope you enjoyed this month's positives. I kind of just did like a brief thing. I'll try and add some more stuff into this video for you guys, so you're not just watching me react and rate things. But it is my birthday, so I'm going to go celebrate my birthday and go get some TLC that is much needed. So I hope you guys have a wonderful month of December, and I will hopefully see you guys soon. Take care, and of course, leave your little qualms down below. I'm kind of curious. Love you, my sweeties. Take care, and I will see you in the next set of videos. As always, thank you to all these awesome creators for their content that they have created that we got to enjoy today. Hey guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content and to help with the algorithm. Also, don't forget to comment your own personal experiences and stories, and if you have any ideas for future videos, you can always reach out to me here on my DMs and my social media accounts or my email. I also do a lot of my updates for my channels on those accounts too, so you can always know what I am up to.